And this is Troy, sneaking around the backside. We're Lost Boys Mushrooms, and we're just around the corner, and we were out in Perdido Bay, and we just moved downtown here about January. And we're really thrilled to be down here and part of the community down here, and feel there's so much growth that's going on, and we sure like to be a part of it. Elizabeth asked that we talk a little bit about sustainability when it comes to mushrooms. So I made a few notes. I'm not a great public speaker, so I rely on notes heavily. Today I want to talk about an unsung hero of sustainability, mushrooms. These humble fungi are more than just a tasty addition to your everyday pizza. They're a powerhouse for building a greener future. First, let's consider how mushrooms grow. Unlike traditional crops, mushrooms don't need vast fields, heavy fertilizers, or even sunlight to grow. They thrive on waste. Think about coffee grounds, sawdust, or even agricultural byproducts. This makes them incredibly resource efficient. A single square foot can produce pounds of mushrooms in weeks, using a fraction of the water and energy that crops like corn and soybeans have a high demand for. In a world facing climate change and resource scarcity, this low impact growth is a game changer. But it's not just about how they're grown, it's what they do. Mushrooms are nature's recyclers. They break down organic waste that would otherwise rot away in landfills, releasing methane gas, a potential greenhouse gas, of course. By turning waste into food, they close the loop in a way that other organisms cannot. Some species, like oyster mushrooms, can even digest pollutants like oil, petroleum products. They can clean up contamination in soil in a process called microremediation. Imagine a sustainable system where waste doesn't just pile up, it becomes the nourishment and heals the earth. And there's more. Mushrooms cultivate supports local economics. It's accessible to small-scale farmers and even urban growers that can start with very minimal investment. Plus, the byproducts, like spent mushroom substrates that Elizabeth referred to, can enrich soil as a natural fertilizer, reducing the reliance on chemicals. And they're not forgotten the potential beyond food, mycelium, the root-like structure of mushrooms. It's being used right now to create eco-friendly packaging, imitation alternatives in leather, and even building materials and insulation. It's biodegradable, it's renewable, and can replace plastics that choke our planet. So why mushrooms? Because they embody sustainability. Minimal resources, maximum impact. It teaches that solutions don't always need to be high-tech or flashy. Sometimes they're growing quietly, just right underneath our feet. As we rethink how we feed, how we clothe, and how we shelter ourselves, mushrooms offer a model of resilience and renewal. Let's champion these fungi, just not as food, but as a blueprint for a healthier planet.
Awesome.
I'm gonna give it up to Troy for a minute. He's got a lot of heart, soul stuff, and he's the reason we are here. Troy?
All right, so some of you all might want to know how I got started with mushrooms. So you guys ever walk out in your yard and there's nothing growing out there, and you walk out the next day and all of a sudden there's mushrooms all over your yard? And you're like, how the heck did this happen overnight? Ever since then, I've been intrigued by mushrooms, how fast they grow. And once I learned more about mushrooms and mycelium is the key. It's not even really about the mushrooms. The mycelium is everywhere. You guys are walking on mycelium right now. It's underneath you. It's probably grown in those benches right there. You wouldn't even know it. It's in half of these dead trees, compost piles. It's everywhere. It's the largest organism on our planet. Mycelium is basically, it's the tree, and mushrooms are the fruit. And what mushrooms, they've been around since the beginning of time. Lichen is, so you guys familiar with lichen? it's a relationship between algae and fungus, and together they create lichen, and they've been around for millions of years. And that's just, it's amazing to me how long they've been around here, what they can do. We have mushrooms that eat plastic. We have mushrooms that eat oil and clean everything. They're using mushrooms to help in Chernobyl. What else? Yeah, so they're also doing experiments with how mushrooms communicate with trees, plants, roots. Mycelium helps feed plants. They bring nutrients to the roots of the plants and help them feed them if there's nothing around. That's about all I got, guys.
Yeah.